31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen from Torrance, California, has been identified as the latest would-be assassin of President Donald Trump. With the shooting that took place during the White House Correspondents Association dinner on April 25th at the Washington Hilton Hotel, controversy as well as questions quickly rose to the forefront. For instance, with 2 prior attempts on the president's life, how was Cole Allen able to gain such close proximity to the president in this event, making this the 3rd attempt? Who fired the shot that hit the Secret Serviceman? Was it Allen or friendly fire? How many shots did Allen fire? How many officers fired their weapons? And was Cole Thomas Allen hit by gunfire? Let's review the 3 key pieces of evidence to see if those questions can be answered. First, the DOJ has recently released clear video footage of Cole Allen and the officers and events that took place that night. Also, D.C. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro filed a memorandum requesting Allen be held pending trial. Included are photos of Allen and a possible motive. Finally, we'll review Allen's email he sent to his family and friends, scheduled to send the night of the incident, detailing his reasons and apologizing.
Hi, I'm Nikki Lynn, and welcome to Nikki Lynn Investigates, where I break down true crime cases, past and present, provide you with updates on cases that shook our communities to its core. Follow along as we delve into current events, breaking news, and criminal trials with facts, context, and clarity, all while applying legal principles. Are you ready to take a closer look?
This video may contain copyrighted material. The copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976 allows for fair uses for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. This video is intended for educational, entertainment, and commentary purposes. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute.
This video was recently released by the DOJ. All edits were made prior to the release to the public. The video shows Cole Allen walking through the Washington Hilton Hotel. According to the date and timestamp, it's April 24th at 8:59 p.m. Per the investigation, Allen reserved a room in this hotel on April 6th. The room was reserved for the weekend to include the dates April 24th through April 26th. It has been confirmed Allen checked in on April 24th, 1 day prior to the White House Correspondents Association dinner. Also confirmed, Allen, who resides in Torrance, California, traveled by train from California to Chicago and on to D.C. Investigators stated Allen is walking through the hotel to familiarize himself with the layout. This area appears to be a workout room or gym. The proximity of this area to the ballroom or Allen's room has not been disclosed. Also, as I'm sure is part of the investigation, what Allen said to the attendant also has not been disclosed. On April 25th at 8:23 p.m., the video briefly shows the workout room again before we see Allen walking down the hall in a long coat. From the investigation, we now know that prior to this, at 8:03 p.m., Allen snaps a selfie of himself showing his weapons, and he also sets his email to automatically send a message to family and friends. Once we first see Allen appear in the vicinity of officers and Secret Service, the timestamp is absent from the video. We briefly see Allen walk down the hall as officers are breaking down the magnetometer. And then everything quickly unfolds as Allen bursts through the security barricade. The video will play again in slow motion, but we're told here that Allen just fired a shot hitting a Secret Serviceman in the chest, and at least 5 shots was fired at Allen, but he was not struck by gunfire, but tripped himself as he collided with equipment. So let's run that again. Allen comes barreling through at least a dozen officers standing in the hallway. His overcoat is now gone, and he's clearly holding a shotgun out in front of him. Allegedly, he fires once, hitting a Secret Service agent in the chest, but the agent was not seriously injured due to his bulletproof vest protecting him. That same agent appears to fire back at Allen at least 3 to 4 times, according to the bursts we see on the video. And although we see other agents with their weapons drawn, we're told only 5 shots were fired, but none hit Allen. Allen's injuries would come from colliding with equipment in the hallway. Still a mystery to me is how a man with a shotgun who fired off at least 1 shot striking an agent and is running towards the ballroom where the president, vice president, and hundreds of other guests are seated wasn't considered enough of a threat to be neutralized. When Allen was detained, they said he was in possession of multiple weapons, which included a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun, a Rock Island Armory 1911 .38 caliber pistol, and multiple knives. This is the selfie Cole Allen took in his hotel room prior to the shooting at 8:03 p.m. The circled items include a gun holster, a sheathed knife, and an ammunition bag. D.C. U.S. District Attorney Janine Pereiro filed a memorandum detailing Cole Allen's actions leading up to and during the day of the shooting. It reads as follows. Allen's attack involved extensive planning and preparation, dating back to at least April 6 when he searched on his phone the White House Correspondents' Dinner 2026. Hours later, Allen booked a 2-night stay at the Washington Hilton. On April 16th, Allen again searched for articles on the dinner, including the event's host, schedule, and expected attendees. According to prosecutors, on the day of the dinner, Allen left his hotel room multiple times. Around 6:26 p.m., he allegedly used his phone to check the president's schedule on a site called Civic Tracker. At 8:03 p.m., he took the selfie in the mirror, and about 10 minutes later, he visited the Civic Tracker webpage again, according to the memorandum. He exited the hotel room around 8:15 p.m. Minutes before the alleged attack, prosecutors said, Allen looked at a media outlet's video called Watch Live. President Trump, First Lady, en route to the White House Correspondents' Dinner on his phone. He then visited a website with live coverage of President Trump exiting his car for dinner, followed by a web search for Trump White House Correspondents' Dinner. Around 8:30 p.m., pre-scheduled emails went to Allen's friends and family with an apology and explanation in the subject line. Shortly thereafter, the defendant rushed the screening checkpoint on the terrace level of the Washington Hilton with a raised shotgun, wrote the prosecution, discarding a black coat under which he had concealed a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun. He sprinted through a magnetometer and ran towards the stairs to the ballroom, shotgun in his hands. Prosecutors said that 6 shots were fired, one by Allen, who allegedly fired his shotgun in the direction of the stairs leading down to the ballroom. Then a Secret Service officer drew his service weapon and fired 5 times at Allen. Allen fell, injuring his knee, but he had not been shot. He was restrained by law enforcement and arrested. At the time of his arrest, the defendant was in possession of a Mossberg 12-gauge pump-action shotgun with 1 spent cartridge in the barrel and 8 unfired cartridges in the magazine tube, the filing said. On Monday, Allen was charged in federal court on 3 counts, including the following: attempting to assassinate the President of the United States, transportation of a firearm and ammunition in interstate commerce with intent to commit a felony, and discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence. If convicted, Allen faces a possible maximum life sentence in prison. The defendant's actions were premeditated, violent, and calculated to cause death, the memorandum said. Considering the relevant statutory factors, there is no condition or combination of conditions that will reasonably assure the safety of other people or the community if the defendant were released from custody. The court should detain the defendant pending trial. Allen did not object to being held in custody pending trial. And finally, Allen himself has provided insight into his thinking by the emails he sent to his family and friends. According to authorities, Allen has various social media accounts where he uses the username CodeForce, and that username was attached to the emails Cole pre-scheduled to send to family and friends, and the email reads. It starts off with the subject line reading, "I wish I could have said anything earlier, but doing so would have made none of this possible. My sincerest apologies for all the trouble I've caused, Cole." The body of the email further states, "Hello everybody. So I may have given a lot of people a surprise today. Let me start off by apologizing to everyone whose trust I abused. I apologize to my parents for saying I had an interview without specifying it was for Most Wanted. I apologize to my colleagues and students for saying I had a personal emergency." And in parentheses it reads, "By the time anyone reads this, I probably most certainly do need to go to the ER, but can hardly call that not a self-inflicted status. I apologize to all the people I traveled next to, all the workers who handled my luggage, and all the other non-targeted people at the hotel who I put in danger simply by being near. I apologize to everyone who was abused and or murdered before this, to all those who suffered before I was able to attempt this, to all who may still suffer after, regardless of my success or failure. I don't expect forgiveness, but if I could have seen any other way to get this close, I would have taken it. Again, my sincere apologies." On to why I did any of this. I am a citizen of the United States of America. What my representatives do reflects on me, and I am no longer willing to permit a PD, a rapist, and a traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. In parentheses, well, to be completely honest, I was no longer willing a long time ago, but this is the first real opportunity I've had to do something about it. While I'm discussing this, I'll also go over my expected rules of engagement, in parentheses, probably in a terrible format, but I'm not military, so too bad. Administration officials, in parentheses, not including Mr. Patel, they are targets, prioritized from highest ranking to lowest. Secret Service, they are targets, only if necessary, and to be incapacitated non-lethally if possible. In parentheses, aka, I hope they're wearing body armor, because center mass with shotguns messes up people who aren't. Hotel security, not targets, if at all possible, and in parentheses, aka, unless they shoot at me. Capitol Police, same as hotel security. National Guard, same as hotel security. Hotel employees, not targets at all. Guests, not targets at all. In order to minimize casualties, I will also be using buckshot rather than slugs. In parentheses, less penetration through the walls. I would still go through most everyone here to get to the targets if it were absolutely necessary. In parentheses, on the basis that most people chose to attend a speech by a PD, a rapist, and a traitor and are thus complicit. But I really hope it doesn't come to that. Signed, Cole, Cold Force, Friendly Federal Assassin, Allen. This case is being investigated by the FBI Washington Field Office and the U.S. Secret Service. It is being prosecuted by Assistant U.S. Attorneys Jocelyn Ballantine, Charles Jones, and Adam Barron. According to FBI Director Kash Patel, the evidence is abundantly clear. Cole Thomas Allen traveled to Washington, D.C. for the purpose of assassinating President Trump and targeting members of the Trump administration. Thanks to the heroic actions of our brave law enforcement partners who acted quickly and professionally, Allen did not succeed, and now he will be held fully accountable. This FBI and our interagency partners have worked around the clock over the past 2 days investigating this case, and today's charges are the first step in justice being served and providing answers to the American people. Cole Allen traveled across the country with deadly weapons and a plan to assassinate the President of the United States, said U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro for the District of Columbia. This full plot was a brazen attempt to assassinate the President and numerous high-ranking U.S. government officials, said Darren Cox, Assistant Director in charge of the FBI Washington Field Office. Violence is never an acceptable means of expressing political dissent. I would like to thank our partners for their assistance in the aftermath of this attack as we work tirelessly to ensure Allen is brought to justice. And due to Allen's own statements, it appears he confirmed, even with his apologies, that he did indeed intend to do harm. So with the recent release of this video, the memorandum by Jeanine Pirro, and Allen's own statement, did our questions get answered? Let's revisit them. How was Allen able to get so close to the president? Well, according to the investigation, he had a plan in place for weeks, and he even cased the hotel, which we see on video. However, we also see that he broke through a security barrier. What was the Secret Service plan? Who fired the shot that hit the Secret Serviceman? Well, according to the video and the investigation, Allen did. Thankfully, he was wearing a bulletproof vest and did not get seriously injured. And again, according to Allen's own statement, Secret Service, they are targets only if necessary and to be incapacitated non-lethally if possible. AKA, I hope they're wearing body armor because center mass with shotguns messes up people who aren't. Well, that's exactly what happened, Allen. You couldn't have put it any better. Thank you. How many officers fired their weapons? Well, again, according to the video, it appears the only officer who fired his weapon was the officer who was hit. Although we see plenty of weapons drawn, Allen himself was not hit. How many shots did Allen fire? Well, according to the investigation, just one. But finally, I must say, I'm still left confused because with the video, we see Allen with a shotgun, and we see more than a dozen Secret Servicemen. We also are told that Allen takes a shot and hits the Secret Serviceman. And we're also told that at least 5 shots were fired at Allen, but they all missed. What I don't understand is how an imminent threat to the President of the United States was not neutralized. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt, This has to be one of the friendliest assassination attempts I've ever seen, on both sides. Cole Thomas Allen, you were right to call yourself the friendly federal assassin.
This has been another episode of Nikki Lynn Investigates. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And click here for more episodes like this.